my fellow readers, this is Dark Symphony 777 with another fan fiction review. As always, a link to the story will be in the description below. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, click on that bell for notifications, leave a comment in the comment section below on your thoughts on the story, and finally, listen to my opinion. My opinion is not indicative of the world, so please respect that. So, this video, I'm going to review 5 horror stories, albeit with a caveat. The reason I'm doing 4 stories at once is mostly this review is just going to be about this fic. This story, and this story are just so much nothing in terms of everything that it's like, I might as well just lump all 4 of these stories together because I'm mostly going to talk about like one specific story, like in any deep detail. So, let's cover these first 3 fics first. First one is Up an Automaton. This is strictly a goofy story. Sorry if I'm pausing. I was trying to hold back a burp. This is mostly a comedy story. And so the plot is this guy named Grinding Gears right here, who is a friend from Charlie from Detroit. There is your first clue on what kind of shenanigans the story is gonna be. He's from Detroit. That was basically the Ponyville catchphrase. At least we're not from Detroit. Yeah, the city who registered Rainbow fucking Dash as a natural disaster is not as bad as Detroit. Like, so, Grinding Gears shows up in Ponyville because Charlie owed him a fit. Like, he wanted Charlie's help something. He goes up to this little lovely lady, the best pony. And goes, "Hey, I got a proposition for you. Behold, the automaton! Ta-da! It's a golem. Yes. It's a golem. Yeah, it is a golem. Charlie, yes? He wants to make a golem. Yes, I know he wants to make a golem. Give me a second. Trixie then goes over, finds a book. What's this book? Where is it? Right here. It's the first chapter. I gotta show you this. Okay. Let's see. Where is it? Oh yeah, here it is. 800 years ago, a somewhat bigoted stallion built a golem to remove a group of griffins that had made a home for themselves near his town. When the golem was finished getting rid of the griffins, it started attacking anything with wings, ponies included. Oh, built with violent intent, of course it would end badly. 500 years ago, a young mayor built the golem to protect their village. They say that for the next 50 years, nothing living was able to set foot in the village, and to this day, nobody has tried to build them safe. Again, while the mayor's still built with violent intent. 700 years ago, an AG farmer built the golem to help plow his field. It ended up plowing through 100 acres of land, 16 houses, and 7 ponies before it was stopped. Well, obviously, proper plowing was set. 85 years ago, a pony created a golem to help sort red marbles from blue ones. And ended up destroying half the town trying to find more marbles to sort. Why go through that for creating golem just to sort marbles? How would I save us some time and just get the short version? Death, maiming, death and maiming, death and destruction, destruction and maiming, destruction, maiming, death extravaganza. Second edition! Golem-related tragedies of history. And of course, Grinding Gears goes, is this about me being a pony? And it gets the book. And so more or less, this story just follows this idea. This Grinding Gears is just this bumbling idiot who's good with technology, who doesn't understand that he basically is, well, he's the type of guy who,
It didn't require any discipline to attain it. You know, you read what others had done, and you took the next step. You didn't earn the knowledge for yourselves, so you don't take any responsibility for it. You stood on the shoulders of geniuses to accomplish something as fast as you could, and before you even knew what you had, you patented it and packaged it and slapped it on a plastic lunchbox, and now you're selling it. You want to sell it. Well,
I don't think you're giving us our due credit. Our scientists have done things which nobody's ever done before.
yeah, but your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
this guy thought, I'm going to build this 6 foot tall robotic minotaur and not realize, maybe I should have maybe did some testing, some proper testing. And it's like, even like Trixie's like, Charlie, please. Charlie? This, he's making a golem. Yeah. Keep in mind, in this first chapter, they're not even aware that he already made the damn thing. They just think, oh, it's just a blueprint. Nothing's gonna happen afterwards. Trixie just immediately says, "Do you want to? Are you trying to date him?" It's like, no. I just owed him a favor. And then later in the story, she's like, "You're married?" Yeah. Why? Oh. So we get more shenanigans. Basically, this kind of just keeps repeating. Like, grinding gears keeps like shoving his foot in his mouth. And apparently, like, Scootaloo somehow knows what waterboarding is. Don't ask what waterboarding is. Where is it? Okay. Has he ever done something like this before? Not exactly, but he has an above average reserve of magic and more than enough to power this. Have you ever submitted your idea and designs to the Safe and Ethical Technological Advancement Commission? No. Have your materials and equipment have been tested to guarantee that they are magically neutral and likely to behave unexpectedly when high amounts of energy flow through them? No. Have you checked public records for similar endeavors to make sure you're not repeating old mistake? No. Have you had any independent unicorns look at your work? Your neighbor's a unicorn, and she liked the design. Trixie gave Charlie a meaningful look. The teacher, to her credit, suddenly found the ceiling very interesting. Look, Mr. Gears, I realize I was being a little harsh before. Please don't feel that I'm belittling your skills as an engineer. These designs look very expertly made, and everything about them says you have the mechanics of this down pat. I'm sensing a but. Mechanics is only half of this, and frankly, I've yet to see signs of you having the understanding of magic necessary for this for anything similar to work. You can show me otherwise, maybe I'll reconsider. That's perfect! Uh-huh. I better show my understanding in a live demonstration. I'm sorry, you what? More or less, this guy predictably fucks up. They have to get Pinkie Pie. It's like, Pinkie, get help! Okay, brings Big Mac. Big Mac helps out. The automaton goes predictably mad because it picks up where its owner, the person who made it. Were you angry at any point during the testing? It's like, well, there was a time I was trying to get a soldier rocket, and kind of ranting and cursing. It's like, you were just how many times you're cursing? A lot. Uh, and so it's just them trying to keep the automaton stuck in the Everfree and say, we need to take this thing down so it doesn't bother anyone again. And they managed to get it through Grinding Gear's thick skull that this is a bad idea. To the point where, all right, you're an idiot. You're a smart idiot. You're still an idiot. So I'm going to write a proper recommendation to a guy who can help you get deal with the magic side of things. It's like, that was, and once he goes to the train, it's like, that was very, very kind of you. It's like, and I said, oh, I'm not going to be the one punishing him. And of course, I think it's This one? Where is it? Yeah, the mature thing would probably be that tell Applejack who built the thing, and that'd be the big Macintosh. It's like, excuse me, you're grinding gears? Well, yes, I am. Sorry, I can't chat. Well, I'm in the train in 15 minutes. That's fine. Cracks her neck. I'll be done in 10. I love this story. It's hilarious because I like how everything is set up, but in terms of like plot, it's just an idiot inventor from the trot. I just noticed that the trot in here is not capitalized, which shows you how much of an idiot he actually is. It's just them. Okay, story is just them just keeping an automaton in the Everfree Forest so they can try and so they can try and take it out before it just harms people. And that's well also chair like Trixie trying to do the most hilarious like I am going I am going to rub this in your face so hard because we're introduced to a running gag that's in these stories which is this Ram quartet. No, so it should be this chapter, right? Let's see. No, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I know it's here. Here it is. All right, let's hear it. Hear what? You warn me after staying with grinding gears turn out badly. You find the most obnoxious way to say "I told you so." Well, let's hear it. You know what? I'm not gonna say it. Really? You didn't know grinding gears had already built the automaton. Remember your nose and the fact that I had known this was a bad idea from the start would be childish. Besides, I led you and the others into crazy enough stuff that I didn't really attack too highly mighty. The day is saved, the crisis averted, and no more bourbon was lost. So let's savor the moment. The Ram Quartet suddenly appeared around the two mirrors. There was a mare who told you so, and Trixie was her name. Oh, yes, she told you so. Yes, she told you so. Yes, she told you so, and Trixie was his yes, Trixie told you so. Oh, just savor them. Which is true. It's like, I didn't say it. They're singing it. It even has some plot relevance at the very end where Zecora picks up the head of the automaton, which is like still has some power in it. Yeah, this is kind of a goofy story. It's just keep the thing from harming the children. That includes snails. Okay, and that's it. Now we have games Pony should play. I'm just covering the plots of these three stories because especially these two stories, which just this story is just them playing a game called Diplomacy. I don't. I just apparently is what the game is like. It's supposed to be like some risk. I guess possible risk. I don't know. I don't know enough about this game to kind of make a educated guess on it. But more or less, the Luna Mean Six want to play this game. They kind of do the whole thing at Twilight's place because they're worried that if they do it at anyone's house, specifically Trixie's house, that the front window will break down because of course it would. And they do, and they get like super into it, and Dipsy and Lyra ultimately work together to try and get one of them to win. Like one of them just throws the game out and lets the other win, and ultimately Lyra does win, and that's more or less the plot. It's just them like playing a game of diplomacy. There is no plot. You are expecting a plot, but there is no plot. Same thing with this story. It's just this story is just what is the plot of the story? It's just them going to a play, which is poking fun at the very first episode, the very first story of the Luniverse, as written by a man named where is it? Where is it? Let's see. Where is it? Where is it? So it should be here. Yeah, by Double Dash. Ah, yes. By Double Dash. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I know it's one of these. I know it's one. There it is. Yeah, by Double Dash. And then they go to the main six. Go to the play. They bring guests, and Luna's there. And basically, the whole play is literally just the Ember Islands. Now, you're wondering what the Ember Islands is? It's a reference to Avatar: The Last Airbender, where where the main group goes to see this play called the that is done by this group called the Ember Islands, and they basically see them butcher the entire first season of the show. It's like, oh, these plays are doing adventures of the first season, and it's literally just taking the piss of the entire thing. And most of the comedy just comes from uh, most of the humor of these episodes, because there's three of them that kind of make fun of each previous season besides Fire. Um, is everyone's reaction to like what the fuck is going on as they completely butcher the whole thing. This you completely missed the author completely misses the point of the whole idea. Where instead of the Avatar gang, I think mostly take the jokes in stride. These guys just he writes he writes it as like a super serious thing. It's like, oh, it's slander. It's like they said it's not going to be 1-to-1. It's still slander because he's making this person pretending to be my girlfriend kiss this other pony. I'm gonna punch someone. It's like, don't bon, no. And like and literally everyone, including like Fluttershy's mom and Prince Blueblood, getting like completely pissed about the whole thing. Despite the fact a lot of the humor of the Ember Islands is just them having over the top hilarious reactions to like them making fun of and basically joining in on the fun. They realize they're literally just taking the piss, and Sokka's the one taking it seriously. Instead, and even then he kind of just realizes, okay, they're just a comedy troupe. This is like, let's take that idea, apply it to the Luniverse, and then make everyone not take the thing so seriously that it's borderline. They see it like an insult. It doesn't make the story funny. It doesn't make the story enjoyable. It just makes it just really a chore to read through. Because I'm not having fun. I'm not laughing at it. Like part of the Luniverse is the fact that it has a more mature humor. So it's like, okay, an entire story where they just have like over the top, silly, childish nonsense. All right, that'd be fine for like an a side little thing. But and yes, this story is quite literally filler. Same thing with this story. These two stories are filler. This is not filler because of the two sentences at the end. This is very much not filler. So I don't. Luckily, this is like the last filler-esque story, and that's actually a complaint I would have on the second season of Luniverse as a whole. There is way too much filler. Like, okay, let's go here. So these are all filler, filler. Yeah. No, no, filler. No, the old ones. Yeah, filler, filler. Uh, technically filler, 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 filler. I just realized. Technically, like half of the season, and luckily everything passes. All these stories right here, they're not going to be filler. Uh, but there's so much filler. There's like, I understand something like this has to have filler, but this is just way too much. In all honesty, and even this is just why. So I like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. In terms of characters, these stories they don't have they're just characters that exist to push the plot. They don't have anything meaningful to talk about. This does have I mean, it does have this little appendix where it shows like how each character is playing, like the type of role they have, which I think is a good detail. But this doesn't have really. This is just characters just move the plot. This is just characters that just do nothing because of because of how the story goes. Up on the ton, up the ton. This one doesn't really have much in the characters. There is Grinding Gears. He's hilarious. Trixie and Charlie and Grinding Gears, they all bounce off each other pretty well. Even the what the hell is this guy called? Lumos. Lumos is like acts as like a good foil to Grinding Gears. Grinding Gears is like this kooky, crazy guy who just like but doesn't understand what the fuck he's doing. It's like I will do absolutely everything whatsoever. Random bullshit go. And it's just really, really silly and goofy. And that's fine. I can understand this story not really having much in the way of characters in terms of character development and character arcs. Besides, Trixie slowly getting more and more exasperated. It's like, please don't make it worse. I'm gonna make it worse, Charlie. Are you gonna see? You're staying quiet now. I didn't say anything. Whistling. I know that whistling. That's innocent whistling. That's whistling that you're trying to get out of punishment. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. Don't that mean? Fine. But these two stories, they have nothing. In terms of pacing, these are paced fine. Up in the Taliban is a good short story. It's super short right there, and it works well. There's no grammar errors I couldn't find. All three of these stories, I would recommend Up in a Automaton if you're looking for a laugh. Games Pony shouldn't play if you know like how diplomacy works. Then I guess I would recommend it on that. But outside of it, I don't. This one's a hard one because this one kind of like you would kind of need to know how the rules are played. They do kind of weirdly show you, but it's like really really hard to be able to gauge what's going on. So I'd say this one is up to the reader. This one I would not recommend 100%. This story is just complete garbage. I don't have anything good to say about the story. Title match, on the other hand, oh boy, we're finally getting into the thick of things with like actual plot relevant stories. So, what is title match about? Well, title match is Trixie hasn't really had the best track record. Basically, growing up, she's kind of hurt people, showed off, acted like an asshat, and an ass clown, and an asshole, and all these other ass-shaped expletives. But she's like, I have learned to be a better pony. Hopefully. So, this pony, well, not pony, zebroni, named Caleb, comes into Ponyville, basically to annoy Trixie, and even poorly breaks her poor window. Yeah, it was at the moment the window was hit with a massive percussive force. Travel and fail, Lunaman, for the time reckoning is upon you. So, what's the deal with this game? More or less, Caleb, Trixie, and Caleb's brother were actually good friends when they were growing up. Trixie is from New Orleans, which is basically a pony version of New Orleans, and so she knows about voodoo culture. Zebronis is basically a hybrid of zebras and ponies that heavily are influenced by voodoo culture. That's basically their whole thing. They even have they go the whole 9 yards. They have their own culture separate in New Orleans, just dedicated to them. They do witchcraft. They do fortune telling, scrying, hoodoo, and everything involving that. Trixie then goes to Canterlot, and she hasn't heard from either of them in many years. One day, while she was studying for Under Luna, she gets a knock at her door. which is Caleb's brother, who turned out to have robbed a train. He basically committed a high crime, and the authorities are actually looking for him. Trixie, justifiably, when she finds out, contacts the authorities and has him arrested because she does not want to be labeled an accessory to a crime. Basically housing the guy. Even if she wasn't aware of it, she could still get charged with accessory to a crime or possibly unlawful. I can't remember. I'm drawing a brain fart on like the crime, like when you're trying hampering a police investigation. There it is. He gets arrested. Caleb does not take the entire thing well. So after many years of studying voodoo, he finally goes to Ponyville because he still believes Trixie is this hugely selfish, obstinately vain pony who's only in it for herself and doesn't care about anyone else, and is completely unaware that Trixie is a changed person. So when he confronts her, Trixie tries to be the better mayor. She realizes that he's literally just venting. He's not really doing anything. At worst, my window is broken, but I was already ordering a replacement. I already had a safe glass, a stronger version of glass already ordered, so it's going to come in a day or two. So I don't have to worry about. So it's fine. She lets him down and basically tries to tell him, someone knocked on the door. No, okay, that's a hammer. Trixie lets him down too. It's like, I'm not fighting you. It's like, but you put my brother in jail. It's like, he committed a crime. And Trixie does not take Caleb serious. Mainly because she realizes that she realizes he's there because he wants revenge for what he believed she did to our brother, which technically is true, but also she doesn't really take Caleb seriously because, like, I'm a knight, and you do realize if you try anything, you'll be labeled an enemy of the state, and I don't want you to go through with that. Like, she's basically trying to extend an olive branch. Like, it's like, we don't have to like each other, but we can tolerate each other. Caleb offers no quarter, saying, I'm going, no. I'm going to try and make your life a living hell. And starts using voodoo spells to try and basically, he inconveniences a lot of people in Ponyville. Like, he tries to, he gives like a recipe to Apple Bloom for the, what's the name of that disease? The cutie mark disease. That was a reference to the show. Let me see if I can find a picture. Like this disease is like a reference. Like the whole thing is like a reference to the cutie pox episode. And so Trixie, tries to be the bigger horse, I guess you could say in this context, because he also curses Big Mac to become a woman, and they can't with Poison Joke, but they can't. But Carrot Top can't cure him because he's actually allergic to one of the ingredients, so he can't. So it's like, I'm not gonna risk that. So he's gonna have to wear it off, and so Big Mac's just a woman in the story named Red Gala. Nice. So Trixie ultimately gets Ivory Scroll, the mayor, say we don't have full evidence. We have enough circumstantial evidence to kind of just kick him out because he's also kind of being a hobo and just sleeping on benches and stuff like that. And it's like, throw him out. It's like, well, we're not arresting you because we don't have any direct proof that you're the one doing all this stuff, but there's enough circumstantial evidence that we can just issue a trespassing order. It's like, shoo. And it ends with like mayor just punching him straight in the house. It's like, how did you become mayor? It's like, boxing champ. Blah blah. Caleb, however, does not take this line out. He is completely pissed over this. It's like, You dare! You dare! You dare! You dare sacrilege me? Well, I'm gonna make sure you do fight me in a magic duel for your title. Speak an enchantment table. And what he does is he makes a voodoo spell that causes denizens and creatures of the Everfree to like get irritated and just walk into Ponyville and start just causing just random mayhem. And they're just like, and Trixie's like, I tried to be the bigger mayor. I tried my best. I tried. Nope. What he did that? It's very obviously him. It's like it can't be. It is him. I know. I have to. I have to do this. So she accepts a magic duel for basically the whole kit and caboodle because she realizes that Galen's just not going to stop until she basically kicks his ass. So all the ponies skill, like all her friends, just basically give Trixie like a bunch of these tools. Like here's like this to like hit him with. Like Raindrops gives him a bag of rocks. Ditzy gives her a fucking baseball bat. It's like love and tolerance. Yep. Just return it to my postmaster when you're done with it. Aye aye. and then we get the titular. No, not this one. Yeah, this whole uh, magic duel where like I have like she realizes that Caleb is like planned for this, so it's like he has like a bunch of tips and tools on the trick to try and counter Trixie as much as he can, gaining technically an advantage. But Trixie has a bag of rocks. Like, let's see, where is it? Yeah, he ducked it as a rock narrowly. Did you throw a rock at me? Trixie's response was the rock. And so the fight ends with Trixie doing these like a ton of magic spells while she's also invisible. Because again, Caleb did not keep up with Trixie, so he doesn't know Trixie has a bunch of tricks under her book with her doing all these magic spells, just fucking with him, and then turning into a using a magic glamour to make herself look like an alicorn, and then just basically beats him over the head with a bat. Caleb does not take down. It's like, hey, wait a minute, you cheated. It's like, arrest him. Like, but why? He's like, nah, you're going to jail for the rest of your life. It's like, goodbye. And then Caleb and then the story technically ends. No, that's this one. Yeah, next one. The story ends with Sakura showing up to talk to Caleb. It's like, oh, I am working for Corona. I can help you. And even Caleb's like, no, my revenge was just strictly against Trixie. I don't have anything against Luna, so I'll fuck off. And then he runs into his brother in jail. And I'm guessing there was like more to plan for that. Like they were going to show up again in the future as like future antagonists. Guess what? That never planned out. I think the plot is really good. The plot basically just boils down to just Izzy Brony wanting revenge for what he thinks was like gross injustice, and Trixie having to like be forced into doing this because she wanted to showcase all the growth she had over all the fan fictions before. I think that's a good story, and even Trixie outsmarting him by like using his own tricks and tips against you. When it comes to characters, honestly, I like both of them. Caleb, if Vicerine Prusence is based off Cruella de Vil, Caleb is clearly based off Dr. Philosopher from Princess and the Frog. And even for the Magic Duel, like he literally just shows up. Yeah. Still wearing his top hat of jacket, now glowed with various symbols in arcane paraphernalia, and his face was painted to resemble a skull, which of course was based off like what how Felicia was dressed. That was basically his whole design. I really liked him. I like the fact that he was a Zabroni that wanted to be taken seriously, but since what he was doing was basically the good old crying to the clouds thing, they didn't want to take him seriously because one, Trixie didn't think he was that dangerous, and two, she didn't. She wanted to prove that his whole argument was like, "Oh, you're not changed." Like, well, Trixie's showing that she's changed. He's like confused, screaming like, Trixie, on the other hand, I like what the author did with Trixie in the story. It basically showcases how far Trixie has come from Longest Day, Longest Night chronologically, to the story of her not wanting to be vain and vanity and showing off that growth and opportunity. She doesn't, and even her character arc from the beginning to the end, like her realizing that she kind of had that of her having to reluctantly revert back to her old ways just to deal with Caleb because the only way she'd be able to beat him is by basically having to go that route and but still wanting to prove that she's still a changed pony. Like even when he gets arrested, she's trying to like, I'm going to help you get like a reduced sentence, stuff like that, because I know that ultimately at the end you just wanted your brother out of jail, and you want revenge for what happened. It's just which is understandable, and then breaking down because she believed that what she did was like horrible, especially like the whole Zebroni culture, like no, and especially at the end where their grandmother, where Caleb's grandmother shows up and basically talks to Trixie, um, right here. Yeah, those who spend so much time in the past end up living there, which honestly is a great thematic way to tie the entire story because that's basically the conflict in the story. Like Trixie wanted to move on from the whole thing. Caleb spent too much of the time in the past and ended up living there, which is like his whole mindset, where he believed Trixie didn't grow from the selfish person he remembered her as. His whole grudge against her was something that happened a long, like years and years ago, and all that, and even Trixie's grandmother, the grandmother Zabroni Zalime, was a really nice touch of like showcasing like that, despite the fact what Trix, like she doesn't hold a grudge against Trixie like for what she did because ultimately, what they both did, they basically screwed themselves over. Like they're still my grandchild, so you're gonna help them out? Hell no! You'll know what the purpose of voodoo truly is. Freedom to follow your own destiny. Well, it saddens me that their journey has taken them down the street. I have faith it will lead them to their true destiny. And I think Trixie's character and like how she learned like at least like think that maybe I can balance, maybe I have to dip into this old way just sometimes because again she had to dip into that in order to beat Gala because he basically had all these tricks to counter her, and it's a really good character. Trixie's character is really well written. There's a lot of nuances to her character that make her more enjoyable than she actually is. And ultimately, I think the story. I think this character, Caleb and Trixie, they're both really good characters. I've gone around in circles. I'm just going to end up ending this. Pacing, I think the story is paced perfectly. I have nothing to do. I have nothing wrong with that. I don't see any grammar errors. Would I recommend this story? Yes, because I do think, even ignoring like the fact that this story does dip a little bit into a comedy for like most of it, like to the point where like I'm surprised the author didn't put a comedy tag right here. I do think it's a great little short adventure story, topped off with a big fight. What would be my favorite parts of all the stories? Honestly, the part I read for this one, it's obviously the book, the grinding gears. He's just a hilarious goofball. Don't really have one for this. Don't have one for this. For this is actually the magic duel, especially the part where, spoiler alert, Caleb actually sings "Friends from the Other Side" in the story to kind of really sell the Felicier reference. Also think it's a really cool detail and probably one of the best uses of of a song in a fan fiction I've ever seen because it's just showing how like out of his depth he is, like how out of, like showing how much he's prepared for Trixie, and then Trixie, and then Trixie literally cuts off the song when Trixie's like, "All right, my turn," and then she starts singing to basically mentally fuck with him. It's like, oh, you wanted me to go back to the old Trixie. All right, you got your wish. Enjoy. It's a really good. It's a really good moment, especially like the creativity of like how Gala fights. Like he makes a whip full of shadow and he actually whips Trixie's shadow to injure her, and like even has like a thorn of magic bane to basically to keep Trixie from using telekinesis on him. And like all these tips and like going the 9 yards. I think it's a good story. So yeah, that is my review on these four stories. Oh wait, is there anything I would change? No, absolutely not. Um, More than likely not, mainly because I don't know how diplomacy plays, so I was like, I don't want to fuck with that. This story, don't like just make them over the top without having them get like super defensive about the whole thing because it's a clear because the play in universe is a parrot. It's like supposed to be taking the piss. So I think just have them have overreactions to the whole thing, like oh, to like everything just would make it so much better. It wouldn't be. It wouldn't still. It still wouldn't be that good. It's like maybe something. So yeah, that is my review of these four stories. This has been Dark Symphony 707, and cut.